Good day, viewers, and welcome to another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. New stories abound in the state system. ATM's appetite for in-depth, unbiased and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. Now let's go through the highlights of today's report. Edo State Police deploys 35,000 men for election. In Ogun State, government promises minimum wage implementation. In Kwara State, troops deploy against Turuji, and Borno State, SEMA rescues 119 victims. Now let's go for a short break, and when we return, we head straight to the details. Please stay tuned.
From the lines across the ocean.
Welcome back, and now we dive into the details for today. Analysts have described the alleged summons rumors of the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike as mere political clout. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's program Open Conversation, a socio-political analyst, Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu, stated that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike is a newsmaker. As such, is likely to make media headlines amidst the current political trends.
Political jobbers and roadside journalists and those who are hungry analysts, they always draw Wike's name to gain attention onto themselves. So without mentioning Wike, nobody will read their comments. Nobody will even know they exist.
Meanwhile, Mr. Ifeanyi blamed the peddled on media tricks as it may.
Just as I'm seated here, if I want to make the headlines now, let me drag Wike. The next time I'm trending. So, those who are giving this information and trying to, smear the hard-earned name of Mr. FCT Minister are doing that.
This is coming as Senator Olakan Wogu, a member of the People's Democratic Party Disciplinary Committee, have refuted claims that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike was summoned by the party regarding anti-party activities. Reactions have continued to trail following the sudden increase in the sales and consumption of dead animals and livestock in the country. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's program, Society Watch, of developmental advocate Isaac Botti frowned at vendors, including poultry owners who sell dead and unhealthy animals for consumption. Elucidating further, Mr. Botti maintained that the consumption of critically infected animals can affect human health with detrimental diseases and other ailments.
Animals that died under mysterious circumstances. The concern that most of the zoonotic diseases that affect animals, maybe birds, the likes, have capacity to create severe health crisis or danger on humans who consume such animals. So it is totally wrong.
This is coming as Enugu State government wants butchers and poultry farmers to stop selling animals and chickens that die under mysterious circumstances. The warning issued by the agriculture follows and about meat and animals with disease. Abia State government has said that the electricity market in the state is on track as the state is poised to utilize the available renewable energy sources in the state to provide access to electricity to all. The Commissioner for Power and Public Utilities, Ikechukwu Monday, stated this at the Off-Grid Energy Stakeholders Workshop on Abia State Off-Grid Regulations Framework organized here, the capital, on Wednesday. He explained that stakeholders' engagement which involves personnel from ministries, departments, and agencies in the state, was aimed at making energy available at an international standard. He said that the electricity market in Abia State is on track and is evolving, and we aim to make it not just within the national standard, but international standard. The Ministry of Power and Public Utilities has the mandate to His Excellency to fulfill his promise to Abians, and one of his promises is his manifesto to utilize the available renewable energy sources within the state to provide access to electricity both underserved and unserved citizens. And so this regulation to cover the sector, we thought it wise that it should start by engaging all the MDAs. Monday enjoined the participants to be greatly engaged in the workshop and understand that the initiative is as well as how it would affect Abia State to contribute effectively to the policy framework. He said following the Electricity Act of 2023, which removed electricity from the exclusive list and gave states the leverage to regulate their electricity, the government was working towards that. He said that we are already working on the main electricity law, which covers both generation, transmission, distribution, and metering sectors of the market, and that bill is at the Abia State House of Assembly. So this program is an addendum that will come out from the electricity law, but specific to the mini-grid establishment in Abia State. That's what this program is all about, and it's being financed by the International Solar Alliance from India. The commissioner further hinted that the facilitators were drawn from India and Germany to educate the participants, adding that the consultants are those who had worked with the federal government on Rural Electrification Agency at the federal level and disclosed that Abia is one of the first states to initiate it. Also speaking, the special advisor to the governor on energy, Kachi Etuluo, explained that the stakeholders were part of efforts to position Abia State to be amongst the states that have developed their upgraded energy sector. Anambra State-based pastor Mr. Elijah Emeka Ibeabuchi has reportedly sent his wife to an early grave. According to reports Wednesday, the cleric allegedly stabbed his wife, the late Ogechukwu Okafor, to death in the state. The Anambra State government, though through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare, has launched an investigation into the alleged murder. Anambra State government has ordered a probe into the case of the alleged murder of one Mrs. Ogechukwu Okafor, who was allegedly killed by her husband, Mr. Elijah. The unfortunate incident happened on August the 13th, 2024, but was reported to the State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare by the deceased family, following suspicious moves from the husband. This was disclosed in a press statement issued on Wednesday, September the 11th, by the media aide to the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Chidinma Ikeonyunwu. According to Ikeonyunwu, the culprit, who is said to be a pastor, committed the alleged incident in the Nimo community in the Njikoka local government area of the state, and uncle to the deceased, Samuel Onora from Abatete, alleged that he got a call from his late niece's husband that his niece Ogechukwu, fell from the 4-story building and died. Seeking for justice at the office of the Commissioner for Women Affairs, Mr. Onora noted that they discovered that their daughter did not fall, but was rather killed with a knife stabbed in her neck and chest by Elijah. Reacting, the Commissioner, Ifi Obinabo, vows that the state government would probe the incident and the matter will be taken up so that the deceased will get justice. As of the time of filing this report, the State Police Command is yet to react or release an official statement regarding the alleged murder. Analysts have expressed uncertainty following the Akwa Ibom State government's gesture on the planned sharing of 310 million naira amongst youths in the state. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network's program, Atlantic Blowout, a political analyst Alfredo El Nino maintained that the gesture is politically inclined as well as not sustainable to cushion the looming hardship in the state.
At the end hunger protest, you will see it even on the faces of the youth that they are actually hungry. Now they say a hungry man is an angry man. Now, whom are the issues that have made up? Whom are made up of these local government areas that we culminate into sharing 310 million naira? Looking at it, the average Nigerian youth is hungry, and that was the reason why we came out to demonstrate. To this effect, everyone.
Elucidating further, Mr. El Nino advocated for a better approach of engaging the youths in Akwa Ibom State.
A government will say, we are giving you this to stop this. At the end of the day, that system will still pervade. The system will still pervade because how much or what form will the empowerment take? Are they going to buy them vehicles? Are they going to buy them sewing machines? Or are they going to share the money and say, go and establish yourself? If it's not going, even at that self, look at the rate, the naira rate. Nigeria have been dollarized. So if you share this money.
This is coming as Akwa Ibom State government announced cash award to the tune of 310 million naira for the leadership of Akwa Ibom youths across the 31 local government areas of the state for boycotting the recent nationwide End Bad Governance protest. Police command in Edo has assured the public of adequate security measures towards a successful governorship election that is coming up on September 21st in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Nemi Iwo, stated this on Wednesday, a statement issued by the command's public relations officer, SP Moses Yamu. The commissioner said that the command had been working tirelessly to ensure a peaceful atmosphere and had engaged sister security agencies, civil society organizations, youth groups, and political stakeholders. The police chief, however, appealed to political parties and their supporters to shun violence, as the command had commenced a mop-up of arms from the non-state actors across the state. To him, this is to ensure citizens exercise their franchise without fear of threats or intimidation. He said that the command remained resolute to curtailing crime and protection of lives and property of all the good people of the state. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, yesterday assured the stakeholders in Edo of the Commission's readiness for the September 21st governorship election. Yakubu told the stakeholders to cooperate with the Commission to ensure credible election. Yakubu noted that the meeting was a tradition convened on the eve of the major off-cycle governorship elections and jointly addressed by the INEC chairman and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Igbetokun. He explained that the purpose was to interact with political parties and candidates, accredited observers, the media, and other stakeholders on the preparations for the election. The chairman said that on the part of the INEC, the active preparations for the election started last year with the release of the timetable and schedule of activities for the election as required by law. He disclosed that the 13 statutory activities were listed beginning with the publication of the notice of elections and ending with the election day, adding that 11 out of the 13 activities had been concluded. We have already published the final list of candidates. However, there are 2 adjustments to the list. By court order, the Commission has replaced the running mates to the candidates of the Labour Party, and similarly the National Rescue Movement, NRM, which could not file its nomination on schedule, has obtained a court order to compel the Commission to include the party on the ballot. We have complied with the court order, and consequently 18 political parties are now participating in the 2024 Edo State governorship elections, he added. The chairman stated that the Commission had already announced that the Edo State now has a total of 2,629,000 voters. Igbetokun said about 45,000 security personnel will be deployed to provide the election. This is in addition to about 80,000 other security personnel drawn from other sister security agencies. IGP disclosed that no local security outfits operating in the state will be allowed to be part of the election duty. According to the police boss, the Nigerian police was solely responsible for the management of the election security, working in collaboration with other national security agencies in the purview of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. Igbetokun warned that any individual or group engaged in unauthorized security functions before, during, and after the elections would face immediate arrest and prosecution. Potential troublemakers contemplating disruptive actions during the elections to abandon such intentions. Several neighborhoods in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, were submerged as heavy rains persisted from Tuesday to Wednesday, and areas such as Cemetery, Azikoro, Ekeki, Okaka, Swali, Bansia, Amarata, and Ovom were severely affected by flash floods, leaving residents deeply concerned. The rains also contributed to the rising water levels in the adjoining Epie Creek and River Non, indicating that this year's flooding could be particularly damaging. The federal government has issued warnings about the dangers posed by rising water levels in some states. In Bayelsa, a flood-prone state located 6 feet below sea level, the situation is particularly dire. In neighborhoods like Amarata and Ekeki, residents have resorted to using buckets and basins to prevent water from entering their homes, with some reporting property damage. Governor Doye Diri had previously assured that the East government was conducting studies for a comprehensive drainage plan for the state capital, but this has yet to be implemented. Environmentalist Alagwa Morris recounted his experience on Wednesday, stating that his home and offices were flooded and his family is considering relocating due to the ongoing situation. Morris called for the implementation of effective drainage system in Yenagoa. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials, and you can connect with us and watch us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, or watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. And moving on, Dapo Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, has promised that his administration will be the first to implement the new minimum wage. Abiodun made this vow while hosting workers' leaders in the state on Wednesday, September 11th, at the government house in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The governor also speaks on the removal of the fuel subsidy and the measures his administration is taking to curtail its effect on the people of the state. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has announced that his administration is working towards implementing the new minimum wage for workers in the state. He made this statement during a meeting with the labor leaders at the governor's office in Abeokuta. Governor Abiodun acknowledged the significant role workers have played in the state's rapid economic growth and promised that Ogun State will be among the first to implement the new minimum wage. In a statement issued on the state government's official page, Abiodun assured the union leaders that his team is working hard to increase revenue and block loopholes to ensure a smooth implementation. The governor also highlighted the state's economic progress, with the budget increasing from 400 billion naira to 703 billion naira and a projected trillion naira budget for next year. He attributed this success to the partnership with organized labor, and Governor Abiodun also addressed the current fuel scarcity and price hikes, explaining that they are the result of operational and financial issues and the federal government's decision to remove subsidies and float the naira. However, he assured that his administration is taking measures to cushion the effects, and his steps include converting mass transit buses to CNG, launching electric motorcycles, tricycles, and providing subsidized rides to citizens, converting commercial vehicles to CNG, and introducing CNG buses to reduce transportation costs by 50 to 80%. The governor emphasized his commitment to energy transition as the path to sustainability, citing examples of successful implementation in other countries. An assistant superintendent of police with the Ekiti State Police Command has been killed by a hit-and-run driver. The officer, identified as Idris Lawal, was reportedly crushed at a checkpoint located at Ayemi Garage along Iworoko Road in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital. The incident occurred during a stop-and-search operations around 11 p.m. on Monday, despite being rushed to the Ekiti State Teaching Hospital. For treatment, he was pronounced dead by the attending doctors. According to an internal police memo regarding the incidents, his body has been transferred to the morgue for an autopsy. The vehicle involved was described as an unmarked white Mercedes-Benz. The police have stated that efforts are underway to apprehend the driver responsible for this tragic incident. Additional soldiers have been deployed in Moriki Town, Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State, as the deadline for payment of 30 million naira levy imposed on the community by the notorious bandit leader Bello Turuji has elapsed. Turuji imposed a levy of 30 million naira on the community following the killing of over 100 cows belonging to him, allegedly by the military personnel about 3 weeks ago. Cows were intercepted by soldiers at Damfawa, the village between Moriki and Shinkafi town, sometime in August. Confirming the deployment, a resident of the area, Aminu Musa, said that some soldiers were deployed to the area some days ago. Besides the soldiers, the state government also sent more personnel of its security outfits, community protection guards, to the area to implement conventional security personnel. We are happy because of the presence of security personnel gives us a kind of relief. The leader of the troop had assured us adequate protection of our lives. Another resident, Ilyasu Ali, said that despite deployment of additional security personnel, there was anxiety among the residents. There is panic and worries about amongst the bandits are heartless. They could dare the military personnel and attack Maiduguri and attack the community, and they are carrying sophisticated weapons than the military. So people are in serious panic as the deadline for the payment of levy ends today. Only God knows what will happen from today upward. And of course, we have not paid the levy, but Turujib has promised to sack this community if we fail to compensate cows, he concluded. Efforts to speak to the village head of Moriki, Alhaji Bashir Ari, proved abortive as his phone was switched off when this reporter put a call to him. On Tuesday, Chief of Defense Staff Chris Musa said that the days of Turuji are numbered, announcing that his men had launched a manhunt for the bandits. The 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has called on federal government to swiftly support the victims of the Yobe flood victims to alleviate their sufferings. In a post via his ex-handle, Obi expressed sadness over the loss of lives and disruption of activities in Maiduguri due to the flood. The former Anambra State governor emphasized the need to unite and rebuild and restore the communities that have been damaged, imagining the pains they are going through. Obi urged the victims to be strong and resilient to get through the difficult time, asking individuals to support them. I am deeply saddened by the multiple loss of lives and disruption of activity in Maiduguri, Borno State capital, which has just been hit by a devastating flood disaster. It is heartbreaking to think about the families who have been bereaved or torn apart, the homes that have been destroyed and the livelihoods that have been ruined. In times as a nation, we must support each other. I urge the federal government and state governments to do everything within their powers to provide aid and relief to those affected by this natural disaster, he said. Flood disaster severed the road connecting Saminaka town to 5 agrarian communities, including Majire in Lere local government area of Kaduna State. The collapse of a bridge on the outskirts of Saminaka has isolated these communities from the local government headquarters. Governor Uba Sani has assured that his administration will take immediate action to address the plight of the affected communities. Speaking through his chief of staff, Malam Liman Sani Kila, who led the flood impact assessment committee to Lere local government area, the governor emphasized his commitment to developing the rural economy. Malam Sani Kila promised that in addition to reconstructing the damaged road and bridge, relief materials will be provided to the affected communities. Lere local government chairman, Honorable Matthew Bulus Gambo, expressed gratitude to the governor Uba Sani for setting up a high-powered committee to address the issue. He noted that the collapse of the bridge has crippled economic activities in the affected areas, emphasizing the importance of prompt action. The committee also visited other flood-affected locations within the local government, including Wawan Rafi village, where another bridge collapsed, as well as Nasarawa and Ungun Shuru areas of Saminaka Township. Borno State Emergency Management Agency SEMA has rescued 719 victims from the flood that ravaged Maiduguri and Jere areas of the state. The Secretary General of the agency, Muhammad Bakindo, made this disclosure while giving an update on the flood as it entered its second day on Wednesday. Bakindo explained that the victims were trapped on rooftops, trees, and upstairs in various locations around the town. SEMA went with divers and rescued 719 people trapped in trees and upstairs, taking them to their chosen locations. The rescue operation started yesterday and continued up to this time today. We documented their contacts to check on their well-being since they were taken to private residences where they insisted on living with their relatives. Virtually all those we rescued, especially along Lagos streets, said that they preferred to stay with their relatives, while the rest also suggested better options. None of the 719 was taken to the camp, and he said that, according to him, the divers improvised rescue facilities such as ropes, tubes, and other materials were used to carry out the operation. Governor of Kebbi State, Nasir Idris, has commiserated with his Borno State counterpart, Babagana Zulum, and the people of the state over the devastating flood that caused unimaginable havoc. In a sympathy message to Zulum, Idris described the incident that cut across Borno State as highly devastating and unprecedented in recent years. In the message, which was signed and made available by the Special Advisor on Communications and Strategy, Abdullahi Zuru, on Wednesday, he consoled the governor to remain faithful, consider it an unavoidable act of God. The governor added that although they in KB have experienced similar unfortunate incidences, we share your grief and we are deeply pained by the natural disaster. The governor also recommended the constitution of a high-powered committee of experts by the governments of the states prone to flood, and that will coordinate government agencies and come up with lasting solutions to the annual disaster. Vice President Kashim Shettima says that the federal government will integrate technology into the education infrastructure to enhance learning outcomes in the country. He said this on Wednesday during a meeting with the World Bank Nigeria team on the pedestal at the Abuja. Shettima, who said that the move would address human capacity and resource challenges to improve learning outcomes, assured that President Bola Tinubu was committed to driving change in the country. He said that with the evolving global technological landscape, President Tinubu would harness all the available opportunities to add value to the country. Be rest assured that there will be a will, there is always a way. Change is a very painful percolation process. I will get out of it, be on the sustainable growth. Shettima. He advocated a holistic approach to education reform, including improving infrastructure, training, implementation technology. We need a comprehensive plan to address the gaps in our educational system as quickly as possible. We must not allow these challenges to persist. The federal government is committed to making the necessary changes, but we need the connections and cooperations of all state governors to drive this transformation forward, he said. Earlier, Diape Diop, the World Bank's country director for Nigeria, outlined the bank's focus on improving governance, health, and education across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Diop, in a presentation on opportunities for prosperity and equity in Nigeria's human capital, said that the bank was working to reinvigorate governance, primary health care, and educational facilities across the country. The projects Hope Governance and Hope Primary Health Care and Hope Basic Education are part of a broader push for reform governance processes, primary health care, and education, with an emphasis on capital development, Diop said. Nigerian Air Force has disclosed that the air component of the Operation WAL conducted a highly successful air interdiction mission on the 11th of September 2024, targeted at terrorists in Basa, Niger State. It said that in the process, the Nigerian Air Force air assets observed over 100 terrorists engaging friendly forces in a fierce fire. Nigerian Air Force airstrike neutralized dozens of the bandits. Kabiru Ali, Group Captain, Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, said in a statement that 28 bodies have been recovered from the target area, with several more terrorists, weapons, and burnt motorcycles still being cleared. According to the statement, the successful operation underscored the Nigerian Air Force's commitment to protecting the nation and supporting sister services and other security agencies in combating banditry, terrorism, insurgency, and other forms of criminality. Nigerians can be assured that the Nigerian Air Force will continue to conduct air operations both independently and in collaboration with surface forces to eliminate all threats to the peace, prosperity, and security of our great nation, he said. NAF sought for members of the public to continue support in vital information that would lead to decimating bandits and other criminal elements. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, on Wednesday met with the Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, where they discussed extensively on the flooding incident in Maiduguri, Borno State. The meeting, which was also to commiserate with the who hails from Borno State, afforded them an opportunity to brainstorm on immediate intervention measures to adopt. Recall that President Bola Tinubu, upon being briefed of the situation in Maiduguri, ordered the deployment of the National Emergency Management Agency to assist the flood victims. The President had given the directive through a statement by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Tuesday, where he described the flood as the worst in recent decades. The flood was reported to have displaced thousands of residents and affected facilities such as the post office and the Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. The President extended his heartfelt condolences to the government and people of the state, especially to the families that have lost their means of livelihood due to the disaster triggered by the overflow of the Alao Dam. Reacting to the incident shortly after meeting the Vice President, Tajuddin said that I am here today to commiserate with His Excellency the Vice President over the devastating flooding incidents in Maiduguri. That is the purpose of my visit here, and I use this opportunity to discuss extensively on the problems and the situation of the people, particularly Maiduguri. We have also designed some strategies and solutions by both the National Assembly and the Presidency that will be implemented in the next few days to bring succor to the victims of the flood in Maiduguri. Tajuddin also spoke on the 3 billion naira intervention funds earmarked for the flood victims, assuring that measures have been put in place to evenly distribute the materials. His words, with the that is known for transparency, the governor of Borno, Babagana Zulum, I am absolutely sure that whatever will be provided for them from the presidency will be judiciously distributed. So I have no fear about that. He said beyond Borno, intervention measures were also being considered for flood-prone states like Kaduna, amongst others. Yes, certainly, like my own state, Kaduna, it has similar flood incidents some few weeks ago, and we have taken measures to also address that by giving palliatives, and we have also reached out to NEMA, advising them to also assist the victims there. We are making efforts with the governor of Niger State to see what we can do from our end as National Assembly to help, and all other states that are affected, we will do what we can do to help. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, we'll continue from this. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. And now to the rest of our stories. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has restated President Bola Tinubu's commitment to boost the economy and tackle challenges posed by natural disasters. Mr. Edun spoke at Wakot Rice Limited's 250,000 metric tons processing facility in Argungu, Kebbi State during a visit. Edun, accompanied by Governor Nasiru Idris and Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu, inspected the processes in readiness for the wet season's harvest expectations. He lauded Wakot Rice for its contribution to the economy. The facility supports farmers through a procurement network and a 8,000-strong outgrower program. Farouk Gumel, chairman of the Wakot Rice and vice chair of TGI Group, said that we are humbled to receive the ministers, governor and their teams. It is timely because it's been almost a year since we started the second phase of our rice mills, bringing capacity to 120,000 metric tons to 250,000 metric tons. The visit reaffirmed government's recognition of the role of agricultural value chain that plays in driving development. The minister also visited a nearby rice farm impacted by floods, noting the need for robust disaster management. Edun stressed the federal government's measures to address these challenges, saying it is essential to combat and mitigate effects of flooding, particularly as we prepare for 2024 rainy season harvest. Our focus is on supporting our farmers and safeguarding the agricultural sector, which is the backbone of our economy, he said. Gumel said that the federal government support is crucial for states like Kebbi, where agriculture is life for many. At TGI Group, we partner stakeholders to strengthen agricultural production. With sustained investments and focus on food security, Nigeria will become self-sufficient in food and feeds others. Edun lauded Kebbi, reaffirming Tinubu's dedication to enhancing security and increasing productive capacity. He urged the private sector to continue investing in agriculture, bolstering efforts towards the journey to food security. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has said going forward, the federal government intends to deploy technology in the prevention and treatment of cancer across the country. He stated this in Abuja on Wednesday at the MedServe Oncology Summit 2.0, where stakeholders gathered to chart a course for Nigeria's efforts in tackling the spread of cancer. Edun said that the technology is now playing a key role not only in the financial sector, but also in the health sector, and the current efforts of the government is to deploy technology to see how to cure cancer. We have seen that current statistics show that 30% of certain colon cancers are curable. Normally, after you hear cancer, you fear the worst, and we have been told here that all we have to do is adopt the necessary technological tools ourselves. We have to be part of the world effort, and we are on course. Edun said that technology is now playing a key role not only in the financial sector, but also in the health sector, and the current efforts of the government is to deploy technology to see how to cure cancer. And we have seen that 30% of certain colon cancers are curable. Normally, when you hear cancer, you fear the worst, and we have been told there that we have to do is adopt the necessary technological tools ourselves. We have to be part of the world effort, and we are on course. He, however, added that Nigeria has taken significant steps to improving cancer care, as we are working to fill the manpower gaps in our cancer care, recruit young professionals, and ensure that they are trained to the highest international standards. Equally important is creating incentives to talent that we can contribute to the growth and improvement of our healthcare sector for years to come. And viewers, this is where we wrap it up on this edition of Government and Public Service Reports right here on Atlantic Network in the city of Port Harcourt. I am Raymond for King David Obase. Stay connected on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, or watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for international news coming up next.